All right, we're going to try things a little different today. I'm going to go ahead and do the lesson right now in the morning before you guys get here. And then I can walk around the room and help you guys out as needed. So this is your new packet. This is 3.6. This is the very first page, page 129. So investigate. It says use base 10 blocks to find 0.84, subtracting 0.56. And it says subtract 0.56, start by removing the 600s. And it says, do you need to regroup to subtract? Explain. In other words, can you subtract, if I was to set this up here, so 0.84, and I'm subtracting 0.56. When they're asking if I need to regroup, if you need to regroup, in other words, do you have to add something to the 4 here? Yes, we do. We need more hundreds. More hundreds to subtract. Okay, so we're going to have to borrow from the 8. The 8, of course, would become a 7, and this would become 14 hundredths. And then we could subtract 6 from 14, which is 8, and then 5 from 7 is 2, so 0.28. And we can just put that right down here. 0.28 is the difference. Let's see here. Bottom of the page, there's 2 questions. I'm not concerned about this one, so you can draw a line through that. The second question, though, it says, if 2 decimals are both less than 1, what do you know about the difference between them? Explain. So when they talk about difference, we're talking about subtraction. If we were to subtract 2 decimals that are less than 1, what's the difference? Well, the difference is the answer will also be less than 1. The answer will also be less than 1. And you can come up with any 2 numbers, and you can just go to the tens place if you want. Like, what's the difference between 0.9 subtracting 0.1? Well, it's going to be the difference between them is 0.8. So, and you can go all the way to the hundreds, to the thousands, 10,000s, millions, billions place, it doesn't matter. If it's less than 1, the difference between 2 numbers, if they're both less than 1, will also be less than 1. All right, turn to page here, page 130. It says, use a quick picture to model 2.82 subtracting 1.47. And what they're doing here is that they borrowed one of the tenths and then they put 10 hundredths. And so then you'd be able to subtract. So are there enough hundredths to remove? Well, the answer in the book is no. This was kind of confusing to me. I'm not sure it helped that much. And then the answer in the book here is yes. Are there enough tenths to remove? And then step 3, it says draw a quick picture of your answer. Well, let's just go ahead and do it. What is the answer? So 2.82 subtracting 1.47. So we have to borrow from the 8. This becomes a 7. This becomes 12. 7 from 12 is 5 hundredths left over. Now we're talking about tenths. 4 tenths from 7 tenths is 3 tenths. 1 from 2 is 1, so it's 1.35. Well, how would you model that? Well, so here's the 1. Okay. The 3. 1, 2, 3. And then the 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And they've got a place down here for you to put the answer also, 1.35. All right, next page. It says complete the quick picture to find the difference. So I'm not so worried about you guys modeling these. Actually, what I would like you to do is go ahead and solve each one of these and then draw a picture of the answer. That's what I'll be happy with. So I could do number 1 here for you. I'll do it right here. So 0.62, and we're subtracting 0.18. There's not enough hundreds here, so we're going to have to borrow from the tenths. This becomes a 5, that becomes a 12. And so that's going to be 4 hundredths. 1 from 5 is 4. So it looks like it's 44 hundredths. And so there would not be a box because there's not a whole number, but there's 4 bars, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 4 dots representing the hundredths, and the bars are the tenths. So go ahead and do that for 2, 3, 4, and 5. Let's look at 6 down here. It says write a decimal subtraction equation that requires regrouping from the tenths. Explain how you know you will need to regroup. Well, there's so many different answers you guys could come up with. I don't like, yeah, we're not going to worry about that. I'm not going to grade all those. That would be too much. All right, next page. Flying through this, huh? Gosh, this goes so much faster when I don't have to answer questions. Okay, Antonio, we'll change that to CM. CM left his math board on his desk during lunch. The quick picture below shows the problem he was working on when he left. Okay. Write a word problem that can be solved using the quick picture. Well, let's do this. I'm going to pose a problem. So let's see here. CM. Let's say Frosty, okay. Frosty won, or has won, let's see here. He played Fortnite last night, and he won 10.62% of his games. Okay, and I'll be fair here. I can pull a stick here. No, not Frosty. I already was writing about Frosty here. I got to come up with another name. Okay, Mr. McWilliams. Okay, and Mr. C won. Let's say 5.99% of his games. What is the difference? Question mark. All right. So what is the difference between how many games Frosty won and how many games Mr. C won? All right. Yeah, that'll work. So you guys solve that problem. You can just do the subtraction, and then in the space, maybe right down here, I want you to model it. All right, and you can put your work and your answer right there. Okay, down below here it says describe how you can change the problem by changing the quick picture. Number 8, it says the price of a box of markers at a retail store is $4.65. The price of a box of markers at the school is $3.90. How much more do the markers cost at the retail store? Well, you got to find the difference. Okay. So just find the difference for that, and then just model it again. You can use the space right here to model your answer for me. Okay. Next page, mid-chapter checkpoint. Okay, so we just finished 3.6. So I would like you guys to do this on your own. Looks like there's 2 pages here, 1 through 20, and then we'll start 3.7. So give this a shot on your own. I'm going to do one thing for you here. If I ask you a question, if I said, and we talked about this earlier on in chapter 3, point 3 is 1/10 of what? Okay, well, just move the decimal one place. It's 1/10 of 3. 0.03 is 1/10 of what? Well, move the decimal. It's 1/10 of 0.3. Okay, so there's 1 or 2 questions that are similar to this. If I said, 0.007 is 1/10 of what? What would the answer be? Well, move the decimal. It would be 0.07. You're just moving the decimal one place. Notice that? Just moving the decimal one place. All right? Okay, that's it. That wasn't too long, 12 minutes. And we'll go from there.